Hello, welcome back to Manda T and me, and welcome back to ARK Gotta Tame 'em All. Alright, before we begin this episode, I found a note that I've never found before. So let's enjoy it together with ARK's new narration.
The system has existed for eons. Considering all the variables, it has adapted well. Much like you, it has toiled to reach its goals. And it has overcome many obstacles. However, the scale is larger. The struggle is longer. In organic beings, age can slow reflexes and dull thought. Not so with the system. The speed and efficiency of its calculations are not in doubt. One could argue they're the problem. If a function has a 0.001% chance to cause an error, but it's only run a dozen times, an aberration is unlikely. But 1,000,000,000,000 times? Then it's inevitable. More time, more errors. A drop turns to a trickle. A trickle to a flood. As I said, everything is finite. The system is no exception.
So we are heading back to the ocean today after all of these struggles of trying to tame a titanosaur and the amount of resources required to build each kind of prototype for taming one. I desperately needed a break. So I faced my fears and I am returning to the deep to hopefully tame, at the very least today, a mosasaur, because I think that's really going to help this process out. Something a little tougher than a basil, and something that can tackle the deep ocean here. So yeah, let's see if we can find some creepy undersea critters, because goodness knows, the deep, deep ocean was nature's great mistake. So once again, I have ended up down here in the far southeast of the map, just beyond Herbivore Island. There are all these really tall, kind of clustered pillars under the ocean, And there have been all sorts of interesting critters I've found down here, definitely through the recommendation of the wiki. So if you yourself are trying to find some of the rarer deep ocean tames, I would search down here in the far southeast, or if you are braver than yourself, try the far northwest. These are kind of great hotspots for finding some uncommon things. Definitely very dangerous and very hard to navigate. My super speed basils definitely have made this more of a challenge, since it's a little bit like driving a shopping cart with jetpacks. When Mr. B saw I was getting ready to record, he told me, well, if you're not planning on taming a titanosaur today, I'd love to go adventuring with you. And so he did. So you'll see his wily basil in the background as well. We kind of tried to divide and conquer the ocean sort of in a grid formation, which is really hard to do with all these pillars and caves and things, but we really did find some interesting stuff. It really makes me wish there was an easier way of building like underwater bases in ARK, because there's a lot to see down here. There were several mosasaurs that we found in this area, but this one is stuck between these really high walls, and the only real exit is a small tunnel that it is about twice as wide and would not be able to fit through. I've never attempted to tame a mosa. I've been chased by one before, but that's about it. And despite being, I believe, a level 68, this fella was quite tanky. But to my benefit, he really liked this wall, and I was able to just kind of pelt it. And as you see him try to flee later, he doesn't get very far. Again, to my benefit, thank goodness, because this was a lot of trank bolts. So here is Mr. Mosa trying to flee, and he really can't get past that corner there. It is very narrow. I mean, think like giant, it's like the body of a turtle without the shell. I mean, I know like their shells really are part of their body, but you know what I mean. But it's so flat and it's so wide, and he's just not getting around that bend. I don't know if this is like video games where, you know, most creatures can't jump, but yeah. And surprise, surprise, there's also a Leopleurodon down here. Yeah, Mr. B said he did clean out some anglerfish that had been down here, but for the most part, we were pretty excited to find a essentially trapped Mosa. And then the Leopleurodon just caught my eye. So that's really exciting news because the Leopleurodon is actually a pretty uncommon spawn, but clearly not as uncommon as the Giga on this map. So I did eventually knock out this Mosa. It felt like absolutely forever. Definitely not as resource intensive as the shocking darts. I think just because of their difficulty to get the biotoxin. But oh my gosh, I went through so many of these trank bolts, and they're super resource intensive because you need to make, you know, the actual spear bolt and trank darts to make them. So and definitely don't deal as much torpor damage as the shocking darts, which you unfortunately can't use underwater. So, and then I realized, because we're going on an undersea adventure, that I brought everything with me and left the honey in Vulture, and then had to go all the way back to the base on the peninsula. So, not my best maneuver, but honey is super perishable. So that's also kind of a challenge. I did eventually go back and check the wiki because I could not understand why this Leopleurodon was so obsessed with my basil. I guess they don't aggro on people, but they will aggro on your mount. And of course, once something aggroes, that's a passive tame, you kind of have to let them refresh. So I decided not to pull out that honey and make an attempt on the Leopleurodon until I had the Mosa fully tamed. And boy, oh boy, did that take a minute. So we've tamed a Mosa. That's one less tame on my giant pink list. But unfortunately, the Leopleurodon still super aggroed. So I went back. I got more honey just to make sure it didn't all spoil. But I can tell you, me getting off of my basil in the deep ocean, and don't worry, Bellathor isn't like super injured for any particular reason. I just kept leveling up his health. So I got really excited when I saw this. I've never seen ammonites on this map before. I know they exist, but I've never actually seen them, so it was really cool. I don't think I really need the ammonite bile for anything. I think it's just a trophy, but down here I found Euryptids, ammonite, electrophorus, and of course anglers. So it was neat to see some of the deep ocean stuff, but the idea of like free swimming down here, is that really free swimming? I guess it is, like if you don't have anything with you. I think free swimming is actually when you don't have like anything, you're just snorkeling, but that's fine. For the purposes of ARK is scary and the deep ocean, both in ARK and in real life, really truly is a mistake. This was super nerve-wracking. I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm swimming down this black tunnel to my death. But it was cool getting to see some of the bits of the map that generally are unseen, unless you like A, are swimming down here, or B, really exploit the like camera mode. So sparkles all throughout. I've never been so close to a Leopleurodon before. I actually don't know what injured it either, because we did not fight back. And finding the hitbox. So if you're trying to tame a Leopleurodon, their hitbox is essentially where their throat is. I really had to look for it, and I was worried because the honey is spoiling, and I was so stressed out, but I was like, no, I'm so close. Also, is blue, I mean, I know they're a temporary tame. Oh, in case you don't know, Leopleurodon are temporary tames, much like the Titanosaur. I guess if you tame one, you get extra luck to find loot for like a half hour in game. So it's spoiling so fast. No. But yeah, up here by the throat is where I finally found it. So huzzah! Leopleurodon, all for me for the next 29 minutes and 59 seconds. So I did get a little overconfident here, and I was looking for either a plesiosaur or a Dunkleo to kind of round out the day, and then Mr. B gave me some coordinates and said, hey, I think I got really lucky here. It took me a while to find him, so thankfully Tame Tracker came in clutch right here, but he was able to separate one angler from a I don't know, is it a school of anglerfish? Is it all the same? But he didn't have any food or anything to get this going, and their torpor drops pretty fast. It's not like compy level like drops fast, but I had some high level kibble. I think it's actually more than required. I think these guys take superior, and I had exceptional. So I was really hoping to hedge my bets with it, but to be extra safe, I did end up going ahead and putting fish in its inventory as well, but this took a minute. The torpor dropped really fast at first, and then it kind of slowed down, but it just kept ticking down, and I didn't have tranks on me, I didn't have biotoxin on me, it was all bad. But then it just all kind of worked out. I was about to reposition myself, and then I got the notification that I had tamed an anglerfish. So we have Angus the anglerfish rounding out for this to be a 3 tame episode. I was so excited. Finally catching up after a couple weeks of just prep and failure. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for sticking it out for a longer episode today. I have no idea what we're doing next time. We have 6 tames left, so until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and happy sipping. Bye guys!